Hi, my name is Jackie from Jackie's Pythons, and today I'm going to do a bit of a video on how I look after my gravid female, preparing her for laying, and how I recover her eggs. Now everyone does theirs differently, so this is how I do it and this is what works best for me. Now as far as an egg laying enclosure, I use a 2 foot by 1 foot glass enclosure. And I put sand in it, which is this one here. So it's washed play sand, which I get from Bunnings. And it's about $7 a bag. And I put that into the enclosure and I sort of make one side a little bit higher than the other side. And I obviously put a heat light in there and a UV. You don't have to have the UV. I only put that there because it came with part of the light. It's actually joined together. So it's a UV and a heat together. And then I have got this one as extra, but obviously being summertime, I don't exactly need it at the moment. So anyways, she's already laid her eggs. She done it while I was out today. So the reason why I can tell she's laid her eggs is because she's not fat anymore. Because when they're gravid, they have quite enlarged stomachs. And as you can see here, her stomach has gone and she's buried all her eggs underneath there somewhere. So it's going to be very interesting and fun to be able to get to it. So, all right, here we go. So first thing, we have to get her back out of her clothes. And by the way, her name is Sophia. She's a 3-year-old pygmy bearded dragon. Yeah. And she's very exhausted and tired after all that. So what we're going to do for her now is go run her a lukewarm bath and let her sort of soak in it for a little bit. And that just helps her, you know, stress-wise to sort of just relax and chill out. So anyways, here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to run her a lukewarm bath. Now you don't want it too hot, but you don't want it too cold. You just want it lukewarm and not too deep. I might just add a bit more cold. Alright, there we go. Now let's go get her. Okay, so now I'm going to get ready to put her in the bath. Now with this egg laying enclosure, I put them in. Now, to tell when your female's ready to lay her eggs, she'll actually start she'll go off her food most of the time and she'll start sort of digging around in her enclosure. So that's when it's time to start putting her in one like this during the day. And then if there's still nothing, no eggs, don't panic, don't worry. Just put her back in her enclosure for bedtime for back overnight. Then do the process again the next day. Put her in during the day, put her back in her enclosure overnight until she's finally satisfied and has laid her eggs. Now sometimes it can take a little bit of time for them to want to lay their eggs until they think that they've got it right and they've got it perfect. In my case, she's a very good girl and I'm very lucky, and I only put her in today and she laid them straight away. This is her second clutch. Her other clutch has already hatched. She had 19 eggs, which was really good for a pygmy bearded dragon, and all 19 have successfully hatched. So before I put her in the bath, I'll just quickly show you her other clutch and the little hatchlings. They're about 2 days old now. See, aren't they gorgeous? They're so tiny. Now for hatchlings, you want to use newspaper or paper towel as the flooring. But for the first few days, I like to use nothing, because until they start getting an appetite, what happens with the little crickets or woodies, whatever you prefer to feed them, they actually hide underneath the newspaper or the paper towel, and it's quite hard for them to obviously find them. So until I know they've got a good appetite and will go straight for the food as soon as I put it in there, then I will put nothing on the bottom and try to put not too much in the enclosure, because like I said, crickets and woodies, they like to hide, and being so young and tiny, they kind of find it hard to get to the food. But anyways, they're a few days old. They're very gorgeous, all 19 hatched. There they are there. Okay. Alright, so now it's time to put Sophia in her nice relaxing lukewarm bath. Now she'd be very exhausted, so you just want to take it easy and pick her up gently. But look at that. I can tell she's definitely laid her eggs because of how skinny she is now, and her big tummy is gone. Hey baby girls. Okay, now I'm going to put her in the bath. Do this gently. And then sort of just wet her a little bit. Wet her head a little bit because she's got sand all over her head from digging. Okay, so I'm going to let her be for about 10-15 minutes and then we'll put her back in her enclosure. Now before you start recovering your bearded dragon eggs, you need to have the container that you'd like to use for incubating. So many people use many different types of containers. This is the one that I originally first had that has holes on the sides, and that's only because what I do is I use electrical tape to cover them while they're eggs, and each week I just sort of take the top off, vent it for a few seconds and put the lid back on. Now as soon as you notice that your eggs start hatching, then you can take the electrical tape off, and then they've got oxygen to breathe, because when they hatch you probably would like to leave them in the incubator for about 24 hours so they can kind of get used to being out in the real world. And yeah, so what I use is vermiculite, which, like the sand, I get this from Bunnings. So that's what you want to use there. Bunnings, there you go. And what you do is you put it in a container, but you don't fill it up too high, because when the hatchlings are born, they need some room to move around. And then you put water in there to moisten it, and you put enough water in there so when you grab it and squeeze, no water comes out of it, but it clumps. So that's how you know you've got your right mixture. If you make it too wet, don't worry, just add some more of the vermiculite. Okay. So anyways, so we have that all ready to go for them. Now you can use containers like these ones, which I've got these ones in case as well. So pretty much you can use any container that you want, and some people put holes in it, some people don't put holes in it. Either way is fine. Just remember when they do start hatching that you have to give them some sort of air. So whether it's you put the lid on and you just go like this, but this way I know they're secure, they're not going to get out, and they've still got the air holes to breathe. So, all right. Okay, now it's time to recover the eggs. Now you've got to be very, very gentle when you start digging the sand up. So here we go. Now the only reason why I know the eggs are somewhere around here is because with Sophia, she's really good. I sort of put all the sand up to one end. You leave a little bit here, but you sort of, make a bit of a hill here. And I actually dug a bit of a hole. So all she did was she came and just done some adjustments, a bit of extra digging, and then she laid them, and then they obviously bury them, they cover them. So it makes it lots of fun for us to recover. Now when you do get to the eggs, you do not want to turn them over or knock them over. You need to put them in the container that you're going to incubate them in the exact way she laid them, sorry. Now I've got to be getting close to them because it's getting close to the bottom now. I know there's somewhere in here, but like I said, you just got to be so careful. Okay, they've got to be here. I know she's laid them. Okay, where have you put them? There we go. I can see a little bit right there. So we know it's up here somewhere. Okay. Now we have found them. Okay, she's got some up there. Okay. Now by the looks of it, she's laid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 eggs, which I'm quite happy with because like I said, her first clutch she had 19 eggs. This clutch 15, which still, again, is quite a large clutch for a pygmy bearded dragon. So I'm happy with that. And you can tell they're fertile by the red patches. If you can see where the red is on the eggs, right, sort of there and there. Oh, just got to focus again. That means that they're fertile. So anyways, now it's time to take the eggs out and put them in the container and hurry up and get them into the incubator. Now I thought before I start putting the eggs into the container, we'd better get Sophia and put her back in her enclosure. You can see all the sand that's come off her. So all we do is we pick them up and we put her onto the towel to dry. Oh, without her running away. Okay, now this is Sophia's enclosure. She shares it with another female cheeky, which she's Gravit too, and she's already had one clutch. This will be her second clutch. And this is Spike. He's the father. And as you can see, we'll open this up. As you can see, he's got a bit of his tail missing. Now, I've had these dragons since they were hatchlings. Well, not hatchlings, but since they were about 6-8 weeks of age. And they're a couple of years old now. And see there? This cheeky girl here, which her name's Cheeky, bit it off, which I'm assuming she thought it was a worm. But that's the proud daddy, Spike. Yeah, eyes wide open. And that's Cheeky. And we'll put her in here, Sophia. There we go. Okay, now it's time to recover the eggs. So what we do is with your thumb, you make a bit of a print where you're going to put the egg.
Can I help you?
Okay.
Can I help you?
That's done.
Can I help you?
No, Connor, sweetie, I'll do this, okay?
How do you do it?
Alright. So next, you carefully, like I said, the way that she lays them, that's the way that you need to put them into the container. So we just grab it like that.
Oh, yeah. I can do it. I can't do it.
And then you put it in like that.
I can't do it, Mommy.
No, sweetie, I'll do it. It's okay.
That.
Okay, now we grab another egg. Very carefully. Do not squeeze too hard. Now see how, I don't know if you can see it very good on the camera, but where that part's red, that means it's a fertile egg. Okay, now I've finished putting all the eggs into the container. There's 15 all up. They all look healthy and fertile, except for this one, which I'm not too sure. It feels very soft, so this might be a bad egg, but you never know. So we'll just let it go for a little bit and see what happens. With her other 19 eggs, all of them were perfect, all of them hatched, but I don't know if this one will make it. So anyways, we'll see how we go. 15 healthy eggs. 14 minus that one. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, now I'm going to put a hydrometer into the container. Now this is going to measure the humidity. You want the humidity to be around 80. So we'll put that here. And you want it to be at about 80. And that's just the moisture obviously in the container. Then I use one of these to put in there, which is a dual sensor thermometer. It's got 2 probes at the end of it, so then that way I can measure this side and this side, so I can see, you know, if they're the same or if they're different. So we put that into it. Okay, so I've put my probes in, one on either end there. Now this, I've put this in Fahrenheit. You can put it in Celsius, but I just find the Fahrenheit, that way, I don't know, I just find it easier. It needs to stay between 82 and 86 for the incubation period of your beardies. Now, I know depending on whether it's hotter or colder, you'll get more males or more females. I still got to do some research, so I'm not too sure on that one yet. So anyways, so then you put your lid on. Okay, so now we're going to put it in the incubator. Now this is a homemade incubator. There's many different types out there, homemade ones, bought ones. This has worked well for me. Like I said, I had a success rate with my first clutch and all of them hatched. It's just gone a bit out of focus. Now, the other female that I showed you that's Gravit, Cheeky, at the moment now, this is her first clutch. And they're due in the next couple of days to hatch. See, they're all growing and they all look well. And that's another thing. Once I get it in here in the next couple of days, I will mark the tops with black. That way, when the hatchlings are born, any that get accidentally knocked over, you can quickly roll them back because the hatchling can actually drown in its yolk. The lights have come on now. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So there's 12 in that one. And they're all doing well so far. Like I said, they've got a couple of days and then they should hatch. So now I'm going to put these ones next to them. And I stick this on the outside so I can read it without disturbing them too much, opening the enclosure. And then over here, I've got my woodies. I actually breed my own woodies for my bearded dragons because they eat a lot and they're starting to cost me a lot. The reason why I've got them in the incubator is warmth promotes them to, or helps them to breed and grow faster. So they're due for a clean out. But yeah, that's my woodies colony. And you can kind of see some of the little babies running around. And they're great. That's what I feed my hatchlings. And I've got more in other containers, which have heat cords underneath them for heat, because obviously I couldn't fit them all in the incubator. So there we go. So we'll close it up now so we can start warming them up and see if we've got a good humidity. So this is from, if it focuses, which it doesn't want to. Okay, it's not going to. Alright. There are my other woodies up there. I've got my medium sized and all my little babies are in this one, and like I said, they're the ones that I feed all the hatchlings to, and I feed these ones to the bigger ones, and if my adults get overcrowded I feed them off as well. So yeah, so anyways, if you look me up on Jackie's Pythons, I have a Facebook page, and I will be selling some of my dragons, some of the hatchlings, when they're ready. So if you watch my Facebook page, that'll keep you updated on when they're ready. And yeah, so any questions, you could go ahead and ask them on Facebook. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and hopefully it helped a lot. I know it goes for 30 minutes, so I don't know who's going to want to sit there for 30 minutes and watch it. But please, if you are interested in buying one of these pygmy bearded dragons, I'm from Sydney, Australia. Just look up my Facebook page, Jackie's Pythons. So thank you for watching. Bye.